is. And so I'm going to ask General John Bridges if he'll come up. And I just have a few questions I'm going to grill you. Is that okay? I spent a couple hours with him the other day again. From time to time, we'll sit down and just talk. And careful. Here's a seat for you. And I think there's words of wisdom that John has a lot to share with us, and I'm going to leave that right here. So as you guys know, John and Edna have been at this church for over 25 years, and truly have done an incredible job. Miss Edna served on our board for almost 12 of those years, and just recently stepped down. But John, I just have a couple questions on this particular Father's Day. You were reminiscing. We were reminiscing on Friday, and so I have a couple questions I want to ask and let you share. What do you? Yeah.
Let me say first.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I've been interviewed by a lot of folks through my career, but never by a preacher. So this is going to be different.
All right. All right. So, what do you remember about the house that you lived in as a kid, and which one did you like the best?
Well, first of all, I was born in a barn.
That's not a joke.
That's not a joke. My granddaddy and grandmother's house burned down when I was in the womb, I guess. But anyway, they built my uncle and my dad and Papa converted a hay barn into a house so they could live after the house burned. And I was born in that barn in the northeast bedroom. So I was born in the barn first. My second home, the second home that I remember was my dad had a few acres down in a tree farm. They set up a sawmill, cut all the wood right from the trees, right from the forest, built the home down in the woods, and that I remember very faintly, but I remember living there until we moved it.
So you didn't have a whole lot. I mean, you just had you had the farm. So what did you have that back then the kids don't have today?
Outdoor restroom.
Okay.
We had wash pot instead of of course, instead of like the laundry things you have now. We had a wash pot about that big. Put wood under it and heated it up and stirred the clothes as they were washing.
All right.
One thing we did do, we didn't have Christmas ornaments. We made our own out of anything you could find that looked like Christmas. That's about, I don't know what else we had, a bunch of stuff.
Well, there was one other thing you told me at your house that you had that we don't have today, and he would go hee haw. You had the donkey.
Well, there's donkeys around today.
I don't know too many kids who have a donkey, though.
That's true. That is true.
What memory with your family do you cherish the most growing up?
Goodness, that's hard to. There's so many. It's hard to pick just one. But we were a farm family. Worked in the field. My papa, my granddaddy who raised me, was probably the hardest working individual that I've ever known. He would even take his rake and his hoe on Sunday afternoon just for recreation, not for work, down to the field and mess around. But I guess that would be it.
Now you lost your father when you were small. He passed on early. So who did you used to go to for advice then?
Well, I went to Papa. We, my dad passed away when I was 8 years old from typhus fever, working in the shipyard down in Tampa, building ships during the war in 1944, and which all my family did. They were all too old to go in the military, so they all worked at the shipyard. But he passed away when I was 8 years old, and I was raised by my granddad.
Now, what was the one thing you told your grandfather uh, when you were heading out on your own?
I received my letter of acceptance to the University of Florida, so I knew I was going off to college. And I had every morning at 5:30 in the morning waking up to him scratching on the window, inviting me down to his house to eat breakfast with him and Granny. We would go to the field and work until it's time to go to school. He would take me to school and come home early in the afternoon as soon as school was out, and we'd go back to work. But that morning I felt kind of, well, smart aleckly, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. And I had my acceptance to the University of Florida. And I told him that morning, I said, Granddaddy, Papa, I want you to know that I appreciate, and this is a true story if I've ever told one. I want you to know I appreciate my heritage. I appreciate my upbringing. I appreciate you taking care of me all my life, teaching me the world of work and all the things you've done for me. I said, but there's one thing I do want you to know. That is, do not save this farm for me. And as a side note, my brother was just the opposite. He passed away a couple of months ago on that same farm.
Yeah. Amen. Now you have kids, of course, and they're older and grown. You've got one of them sitting right here in the front row. What is the most embarrassing thing that they have ever done to you?
I'm not going to tell. They've been good kids. They have not embarrassed me that much. A bad grade in school once in a while, or the principal called me and let me know that I needed to talk to them about something. But I'll tell you one thing about both of them. Don't ask them if you don't want to know the question. I mean, if you don't want to know the answer. If you don't want to know what the answer really is, don't ask either one of them. Ramona and Nora Todd.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they will let you know what it is.
Yep. Now, what's the funniest thing that you ever did to them, both either intentionally or unintentionally, that they always keep bringing up?
I don't know. I asked both of them that question.
Okay.
And about the only thing either one of them remembers once in a while, we'd be out on the boat or something and fishing out in the ocean. And I would fool them about a fish strike or something like that. But I don't think I ever did anything intentionally or unintentional to them that they hold a grudge for.
Yep. That's the key, right? How are you most different from your parents or your grandparents?
Like I said earlier, don't save this farm for me.
How are you the same? What are some of the characteristics that you feel like that they transferred to you?
They certainly transferred to me the love of God, and I went to church, I guess, probably every day after I was born for the time I went off in the military. And they just did, I think, a pretty good job of teaching me the right and wrong and what was right.
Now, in this day where there's so much going on, and it's like not just information overload, but actual like requirement, like you're like almost required to do more than what you've ever had to do before. What advice would you give a family that's trying to balance work, family, and other obligations?
I, I guess the one thing is be yourself. You've got to be honest with yourself. Uh, don't try to fake anything. Be true to yourself and to God, of course. Uh, but it's amazing what you can get done if you don't care who gets the credit. And that's one of the things I've always tried to do, especially militarily. And of course, your faith in God and loving one another, those kind of things. Those things. But just be yourself. Be honest.
Man. Well, thank you, Brother John. Can you give him a warm thank you for sharing with us?